All right, so today is Monday, and it is time to work on our science and social studies. So for social studies this week, we are going to learn about the coronavirus. The coronavirus has been in the news recently. That is the reason that y'all are home and not at school. So this picture shows a girl who does not feel well. She does not feel well, so she's sick. And you can see a thermometer right here. So the person is taking her temperature because she's not feeling very good. So many people around the world are sick with a new illness. This illness is called the coronavirus or COVID-19. Now, we've talked about the coronavirus before we went on spring break, and we kind of talked about what it was doing in China, which is where it started. The coronavirus spreads from person to person like the flu. Anyone can become sick with the coronavirus. Symptoms of the coronavirus include a fever. So fever is where your body is very, very hot. A cough. Remember, when we cough into our elbow. And breathing trouble. Most people who get the coronavirus only become a little sick. They stay in their homes and rest, and they feel better in a couple of weeks. Some people become very sick. These people may need to go to the hospital where doctors can care for them. So we're going to turn the page. Look, here's someone washing their hands. And that's very important to stop the spread of coronavirus. Wash your hands. People think the coronavirus started in China in late 2019. Then it spread to other countries, including the United States. The coronavirus spreads quickly. Now the coronavirus is called a pandemic. A pandemic is when an illness spreads around the world. Leaders and doctors around the world are working together to stop the spread of the coronavirus. You can help stop the spread by washing your hands often, for 20 seconds or more. Wash your hands with soap and water. They often tell you to wash your hands and sing the birthday song. Make sure you use soap. Try not to touch your eyes, nose, or mouth. Call a doctor when you feel sick. Do not get close to people when you are in public places. That's called social distancing. So they tell you to stay at least 6 feet away from people around you, unless they're your family. They also say don't go around a whole lot of other people, because some people have the coronavirus, but they may not have symptoms. And so it's always safer to stay away from as many people as possible, at least until coronavirus gets worked on and gets kind of figured out. So here's an empty sports stadium. That was one of the big things about the coronavirus. They had to stop all sports. At the time, we had basketball still playing, we had the XFL still playing, we had soccer that just got started, and we had baseball season right around the corner. But because there's so many people in stadiums, this is one way to try to stop the spread of coronavirus. Because You can't stay 6 feet away from people if you're in a stadium full of 20,000 people. Because the coronavirus spreads quickly from person to person, leaders and doctors worry about crowds. Many people are close together in crowds. If people in crowds are sick, they can spread the coronavirus. Many leaders have canceled events with crowds such as parades. That's why we didn't have any St. Patrick's Day parades this year. All those parades were canceled because of the crowds. Concerts have been canceled or postponed. A lot of concerts have been postponed because you have several thousand people all together, and there's just no way to know who's healthy and who's not healthy. And then conferences have been canceled. And of course, sports events. That's the saddest part. Sports events were canceled. Leaders have closed public places with crowds, such as movie theaters, museums, restaurants, stores, and zoos. So movie theaters were canceled or closed right after spring break. Museums were closed right after spring break also. Restaurants allow people to come pick up their food, or you can do a drive-through, but the insides of restaurants are closed, so you can't eat inside a restaurant right now. Grocery stores. Grocery stores are limiting people, especially what you can buy. And zoos. Zoos are closed. Lots of people go to zoos, and so it was safer to close the zoos. Now, the animals don't have the coronavirus. They don't get the coronavirus that doctors and experts know of. But closing zoos was safer for humans. The leaders hope canceling events and closing public places will help stop the spread of the coronavirus. Leaders have closed many schools and businesses too. Some students and workers are using computers to work online in their homes. So that's what we're doing right now. That's called distance learning. It is kind of difficult for students. It's difficult for teachers. And a lot of people really don't like it. They miss their kids at school. Students miss their teachers at school. Parents miss their teachers at school. And then businesses have also had to close down. If you are a necessary business, you can stay open. But businesses like nail salons, places to get your hair cut, there are a lot of different types of businesses out there that have had to close down. Oh, here's an empty airport. You know me, I like to travel, and I've been following along with all the travel cancellations. Many people had to change their vacation plans because of the coronavirus. We were lucky. Our school was able to go on spring break. Many schools had spring break later, and so their spring break got canceled. Our spring break happened during when a lot of the stores were starting to close down. So we were lucky if we were able to travel, we were able to go places. But during our spring break, places like Disney World, Universal Studios, Six Flags, those places started to close down. Leaders right now, they don't want people to travel. They do not want people to travel at all. Sick people who travel can spread the coronavirus to people in other cities, states, or countries. So sometimes you may not even know that you have the coronavirus, but you can still infect other people. That's why they don't want anyone to travel. When we were on spring break, we went on a cruise out of Miami. And when we were getting onto the cruise, we had to have our temperature taken. So that was one way that they tried to keep people who were sick off the ship. They also looked at our passport. And a passport is a book that you have to have when you travel to different countries. And so they were looking for people who traveled to certain countries to let them know that, hey, your country is on our list and we're not going to let you on our cruise. We hadn't traveled to any of those countries in the past 60 days. No, we have traveled to some of those countries. Airlines have canceled some flights, and cruise ships have canceled some trips. Cruise ships have canceled all trips. There are no cruise ships out there cruising around for fun. There are cruise ships that are out there cruising because locations don't want them to bring people who are sick into their city or state. So those cruise ships right now, they're just kind of, out there in the middle of the ocean. People are staying in their homes for a while to help stop the spread. The coronavirus is a new illness that doctors are still learning about. They hope to stop the spread of the coronavirus soon. Then people can return to work and school and go to public places again. Now, doctors and experts, they're not sure when that's going to happen. Hopefully soon, because I'm kind of tired of staying at home. I'd like to be back at school.
Me too.
All right. So this was the article. Now go ahead and stop our recording or stop the video, and you can answer the questions.